Welcome to Coffee Breaking Crime. It's your host, Crystal.
And Celine.
Grab your mug.
Sit back.
Relax.
And unwind.
While we get into today's mystery. So, Celine, tell me, how was your week?
It's only Wednesday.
Oh.
Well, so far, short week. Due to the holiday, we just kind of been laid back and chill. What about you?
Same, laid back and chill. And being that we spent the weekend together.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, we had a fun weekend.
Too bad we weren't able to get our lives together to record together instead of doing it, over the internet.
Yeah, we were supposed to record while we were together because we spent the weekend together, but we spent our time doing other things.
Yeah, but it was a fun, carefree weekend, so I'm glad that you guys came.
Yeah, me and my husband went out and spent our time with Celine and her wife, and we actually did something super fun. We did a cocktail challenge where we each prepared our own alcoholic beverage, adult beverage, and we presented it to the other people in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we rated it and kind of like saw who the winner was.
To get to a winner, yeah.
Yeah, but neither one of us were the winners.
Oh, we were the winners.
But just for fun, I'm going to post that picture on our Instagram so y'all can see the drinks because they were all beautiful. They all came out really pretty.
They did. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Again. So, Crystal, what's in your cup today?
Obviously, not alcoholic beverage today, but I have just some basic hot coffee with sugar and cream today.
It's my fave, basic hot coffee. So today I changed it up a little bit and I have iced coffee with some caramel syrup.
You know I like the caramel in my coffee.
Yeah, me too. It's my fave. So we'll go ahead and get into today's case. Today we are getting into the disappearance of Felicia Johnson. Okay. As in our previous episode, this is a very recent case. So we just want to make sure that we're being considerate and respectful whilst making sure we're still giving you guys the facts of the story.
Of course.
Felicia Johnson is a 24-year-old young woman from the San Diego area of California, and she actually went missing on April 16th of this year in Houston, Texas.
Oh, wow. So that's super recent.
Very, very recent. So this is still an active case, details are continuing to emerge. So again, we always post pictures and information on our Instagram, and we just want to reiterate, let's be respectful and considerate of families.
Right.
Okay. So I want to talk a bit about the case, like the details of what kind of transpired in the media when I first read about this case and the details when it was first starting being reported in the news. And then I want to get into like the timeline of the case that has come out as a result of the investigation.
Okay.
So I do remember reading, for those who don't remember, I live near Houston, Texas, like on the outskirts. So I do remember reading about Felicia's disappearance back in April, hearing about it on the news. And I decided that I would just kind of keep tabs on it. Again, I live near Houston, so this is something that caught my attention immediately. Initially, it was reported, there were many reports and interviews with her father that Felicia had a job interview to work in a strip club in Houston, Texas, called CoverGirls Nightclub.
Okay.
So this is first what came out. She had flew from San Diego to Houston alone to kind of celebrate. She had just turned 24, kind of celebrate her birthday. And also, I'm assuming from what I could gather, she decided she might stay a while. So went, to interview for this job.
Okay.
Allegedly on April 15th, she went to the club, but she was turned down for the job. And what reports were saying at that time was that after the interview, she ended up accepting a ride from a stranger because her Uber was late.
Oh, never a good idea.
Never a good idea, no. But the stranger was said to be a regular from this club. And then, Felicia hasn't been seen or heard from again.
Okay.
Now, I want to say again, allegedly.
Right.
Because the attorney for the CoverGirls Gentlemen's Club or nightclub, Casey Wallace, he has denied these allegations. He claims there is no evidence that Felicia applied for a job at the club and that the staff that was working that night don't even remember seeing her.
Wow. So they're just denying that she ever even went for an interview or that they ever even seen her in that club.
Right.
Okay.
So this is where things start to get a little bit confusing and a little bit serious at this point. Casey Wallace said, and I quote, "I can't say whether or not Miss Johnson was in the club. If she came in looking for a job, she was turned down within a few minutes. She never worked at the club, and CoverGirls has no connection to this woman. All surveillance video has been turned over to HPD, or the Houston Police Department. CoverGirls has never been involved in human trafficking, and to suggest that CoverGirls is responsible for this woman's disappearance is categorically false."
Wow.
So that's the official quote from the lawyer of this nightclub.
Okay.
So now I'm going to back up just a little bit. Now, Felicia's father, his name is Kevin Johnson.
Okay.
He flew from San Diego to Houston once he was made aware of his daughter's disappearance.
Okay, of course.
Of course. And he's been very vocal and very frustrated with the case, which is completely understandable.
Yeah, any parent would be.
Any parent would be, exactly. He also did say that it took 5 days before the Houston Police Department, or HPD as we'll call them from now on, before they even began investigating Felicia's disappearance.
Oh no. 5 days?
5 days.
Wow.
He was incredibly worried that his daughter, Felicia, could have been the victim of human trafficking. And he was concerned that it had something to do with CoverGirls nightclub. This, goes back to what Casey Wallace said in his statement about human trafficking and everything. That's why I wanted to go back on that just a little bit.
Okay.
I've looked and kind of did as much research as I could, but the last I read, although that the lawyer for the club did say that footage had been turned over to the police, Felicia's father said that he had not been provided any information regarding the surveillance footage. So we're not completely sure of the details surrounding the nightclub at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did read that lawyers said that after they had turned over the footage, a couple days later, they found more footage of a woman coming in and being denied for a job, but it was a different day and it wasn't Felicia. So again, the information surrounding like the details of the nightclub situation are very fuzzy, and we don't have any particular details or
Okay.
evidence,
Now, I might have missed it, but who gave the information that she went to that nightclub?
Her family.
So her family knew that she was going to apply at this particular club.
Her family were her families who advised them that she was going to this nightclub to apply for a job.
Okay.
Yeah, I could not find out if there were witnesses that actually saw her at the nightclub or anything like that. This was information that was provided from the family to the police and the public.
Okay.
So again, that's where these details are coming from. I'm unable at this point to find any verifiable information that proves that Felicia was at the nightclub. So I do want to mention that.
And okay, I guess I'm just trying to play it in my head. So apparently she was speaking to someone in the family for them to know that she also did not get the job and that she was riding home with somebody.
That, yeah, again, fuzzy details, but that's the information that we've gotten from the family.
Okay. And maybe, I don't know where the story is going, but maybe it's also a possibility that they had the wrong club.
It's possible.
Okay.
Let's move more into the timeline of what the investigation has turned up so far.
Okay.
All right. So Felicia's family in California advised HPD that they last heard from her on April 15th.
Okay.
When she went to supposedly went to the club to apply for this job. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, on April 16th, they reached out to a friend of the family who lived in Houston, and they asked this friend to search for Felicia based on the last location her phone had pinged. So she was sharing her location with her family, from what I understand. They saw where her phone was and it had been there, so they sent a friend there to check on her.
Okay, and that's smart to always do. Share your location.
Yes, we have brought this up before about sharing your location with someone. I feel like some people think it's like an invasion of privacy, but I feel like it is an important and a safe thing to do. At least have one person you trust know your location.
It is important. And I know that like when it comes to my family, I have the location of my husband, my kids, my mom. I can check on them whenever I need to. If I'm calling one of them and they don't answer and I'm continuously calling and they're not answering, I can pull up the app and see if they are where they usually are so that I can know, that they're okay and maybe they'll just call me back later. But if anything is to happen to me or to them, we can at least put a timeline on where, we are at that time.
Right. Exactly. All right. This family friend did end up finding Felicia's phone. And it was reportedly said that it was covered in blood, or I should say a blood-like substance.
Wow.
I will get more into the details regarding the phone, but I do want to mention that it was found in Bear Creek Park, which is about 5 miles from the CoverGirls Gentlemen Club. So at this time, things did seem to align with what her father was saying about the details of the club.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now we are going to discuss the details of the investigation brought to light following the discovery of Felicia's phone.
Okay.
This is according to the current court documents. After Felicia's phone was tracked to a location off road, off-road in Bear Creek Pioneers Park near Highway 6 and Clay Road. She was actually reported missing from her hotel, Intercontinental Houston, in the medical center. And Bear Creek Park is about 25 miles from her hotel.
Wow.
So this is where things differ. On April 16th, at around 2:56 a.m., Felicia was seen on the hotel cameras leaving and getting into an Uber.
Okay, so this is the day after she allegedly went missing.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
We now know that the Uber was paid for by a 28-year-old man named, and I'm going to try with the name, Chukwe Buka Nwobodo.
Okay.
Which from now on, we will just call him the suspect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I don't want to keep butchering his name. The police was able to obtain records from Uber to confirm this.
Okay.
So the suspect paid for the Uber and sent it to her hotel.
Okay, but he was not at the hotel.
He was not at the hotel.
Okay.
HPD searched his name and found his address from a police report from November 2020, where the suspect was being investigated for sexual assault. But that case was dismissed when the victim decided not to press charges.
Oh, man.
Reportedly, this Uber took Felicia to an apartment complex in the 3200 block of Windchase Boulevard. The suspect actually lived there between 2017 and 2020, but this was his old address. This was not his current address.
Oh, so why would he send her there?
Right. Allegedly, while the Uber was taking Felicia to his old apartment complex, surveillance video captured the suspect less than 2 miles away, driving from his current South Richmond Avenue residence to the previous residence. The police report that he met Felicia, picked her up, and brought her to his current apartment.
Oh.
So about an hour later, his car is seen on video leaving the complex. And at 5:12 a.m., Felicia's phone connected with a cell tower near Bear Creek Park, where the family friend ended up finding her phone later that day.
And this is all after no one can get in contact with her.
Right. So this is all, her phone was found on the 16th. And this all occurred at between 2 and 5 a.m. on the 16th that morning, later that day.
Oh, okay. So she went missing on the 15th, but it wasn't like it was later on in the day on the 16th. It was that it was early in the morning where it was still nighttime.
Right.
That all of this is happening.
Right. It was almost 3 a.m. on the 16th when she took the Uber from her apartment. Okay.
So when she was in the club, it was nighttime.
Allegedly. It was on the 15th, the day before, at night. Yes.
The club. Okay.
I did do some research on the club. The club closes at 2 a.m. So I'm not sure, because again, we don't have full details on the club. I'm not sure if she was actually there or not. But if she was, the club closes at 2 a.m. And then if she went to the club, she somehow made it back to her hotel. Okay. And then left her hotel again at 3 a.m. to meet the suspect.
Okay. Okay. The timeline is making more sense to me now. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So on April 21st, her case was transferred from missing persons to homicide investigators.
Oh, wow. When?
On April 21st.
Wow. That was quick. Okay.
The next day, on April 22nd, The nonprofit search and recovery organization, Texas EquiSearch, located Felicia's purse during their search of Bear Creek Park area, not far. It was found near the area that the family friend had located her phone a few days earlier. Remember, the friend found the phone on April 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Now on April 22nd, they found her purse in roughly the same area.
Okay.
Now, more details have emerged, like I said, as the case continues. And according to police, they say that they found online advertisements with Felicia's picture on various sex worker websites.
The police said this?
Yes.
Ooh.
They also say that Felicia and the suspect were communicating on Snapchat. And her messages showed that they agreed to meet that day for $500.
Okay.
And we now know that records do show that the suspect did withdraw that agreed upon amount from his Wells Fargo account that day, that $500.
Okay.
So this is the information that has now surfaced after, the phone and some of the investigations have occurred.
Okay. So we know at least that the suspect had intentions on paying her, because, sometimes there will be these Johns that will call the sex workers to come and have no intentions on paying them and then rob them or abuse them in some way.
Right.
But he had intention on paying if he went and got the money.
That's what it seems like. On May 13th, almost a month after Felicia's disappearance, detectives were able to obtain a probable cause warrant for the suspect, along with search warrants for his house and his car. Right, because now they have the Uber records.
Right.
They have the surveillance as well. And of course, they have Felicia's phone. And this is the last person that she spoke to. Then she agreed to meet this person.
Yeah.
Now, police did end up pulling the suspect over during a traffic stop. And allegedly, there was blood in the back seat and the trunk of his vehicle.
Oh, man. It's not looking good for him.
Well, they also found a handgun, loose latex gloves, a shovel.
What?
And a large kitchen knife with blood on it.
What?
Yeah. This is according to the court documents. These are the things that they found in his car. So he was pulled over and subsequently taken into custody.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, in his apartment, there were bloodstains throughout. And it said that there were large stains on the bedroom and hallway floors, and Felicia's DNA and blood was found in his apartment.
So the bloodstains was her blood. They tested it.
Eventually, they were able to test it, and it was her DNA. The suspect's phone was also confiscated by the police. So later, according to court documents, they were able to access his internet searches. And let me just say that his internet searches were all over the place. Like, this is the way to be guilty. This man just gave himself away with his internet searches. Right?
First of all, having a shovel, a gun, a bloody knife in your car is the way to be guilty.
Very true. You're not smart at all, sir.
At all.
So his internet searches, they included things like how to dispose of a body and destroy evidence.
Oh, wow. Come on, sir.
Can police check phone records of a dead person?
Oh, I wonder, can they?
On April 20th, he searched, can bleach destroy DNA?
Oh, my goodness.
He also searched for what does vinegar do to blood?
Oh, my gosh.
The next day, he searched for what is the most forested part of Houston?
This is the The roadmap to catching a murderer.
Right, exactly. A week later, on April 27th, and the day after, there were more searches. He searched for how to delete your history completely. He
didn't succeed.
No, he did not. He also searched for the cheapest place to live in the world on $1,000 a month budget.
And you're broke.
How does one plan a murder without getting caught?
What?
And then he searched for how to get away with murder.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
He was not bright.
On May 3rd, he searched for how missing person cases are handled and if police can access dead people's text messages. So yes, the internet searches are very telling.
Yeah, and you apparently you had no clue on how to erase your history. Google did not help you with that one because you're caught.
And so according to the court documents, again, when they confiscated his phone, there was a photo of a dismembered woman's body.
Oh no.
There was a picture of Felicia's Uber pickup spot and the car that had picked her up.
He took a picture of the car?
There were also 3 photos of deceased individuals on his phone. None of the people from these pictures have been identified at this point. So we're not even sure.
Oh my goodness.
There's more.
Oh my goodness. What more can there be?
We do have reports that on the morning of Felicia's disappearance, so this is the 16th, the suspect sought medical treatment for hand lacerations. He claimed that he had injured himself while he was trying to cut some boxes open, but,
Well, we all know about that.
Right. Then on April 16th, again, the day of Felicia's disappearance, and the following day, the suspect is seen on surveillance video at a local Walmart. He's buying towels.
Wait, I just have to pause because every single time they get caught on the camera at Walmart, it is always, what are y'all doing? Why do y'all think y'all can go to Walmart and buy all your murderous equipment and not get caught?
I don't know. So yeah, he was seen on surveillance video at the local Walmart buying towels, trash bags, and a flashlight. He also went to Home Depot and bought a pruning saw. A pruning saw it's a saw. It's sharp. It can cut, but it's small. It's handheld. It's usually used to trim shrubs and trees.
Okay.
Also, on April 30th, now this is about 2 weeks after Felicia went missing, the suspect was allegedly Googling for Houston escorts. So, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like he was trying to redo, try again.
Yep.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, the suspect was taken into custody on May 13th during that traffic stop, but he was not charged and he was released.
What?
Yeah.
After they caught him with all that?
Later the search, the Google searches and things, it took a little time.
You're right.
It took a little time to execute the search warrants in his house and stuff. But when they confiscated his phone, there were those pictures.
Yeah.
And what about the stuff that was found in his car?
So all of this was found before they released him?
He was pulled over in his car with all the murder equipment in his car.
Well, yeah, first and foremost that. But they went through his phone and still released him.
And he was still released. We're not sure why. It's very unclear why he was released. I mean, they had his cell phone. We're just not sure. He was released the same day, but he wasn't charged until June 9th.
June 9th. Okay.
But now he's gone. They can't find him.
Well, his internet search for where to go.
Yeah, he's on the run. He's nowhere to be found. He's been charged with murder and tampering with evidence, and police cannot find him.
Oh my goodness. But they let him go when they had him.
Mm-hmm. Now, police do believe that the suspect killed and dismembered Felicia at his apartment and then disposed of her body sometimes within the next few days.
Okay.
If we're just kind of based off of his Google searches, it was a few days after where he Googled what is the most forested area in Houston, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they do think that eventually he did, dismember and dispose of her body. Now I want to make, very clear that I don't care what Felicia's profession is or what it was or what it isn't. It doesn't matter.
At all.
So please do not leave comments regarding, what her profession may be or may not be. We don't know. No matter what a person does, no one deserves to go through something like this.
No, not at all.
And being judgmental is part of the reason that more women aren't open regarding this line of work.
Exactly. And it's the reason why there are so many women who are sex workers who have been murdered. Cases don't get solved.
Right.
Or they're targeted because they know that people don't value them as much, which should not be the case.
It should definitely not be the case. This is a judgment-free zone, though, and we don't want any comments like that on our social media or anything like that.
No, definitely not.
We need to remember that, Felicia is a person. Her family, are people. These are real people with real feelings. And on top of that, Felicia still has not been found.
Mm-hmm.
Her family does not have closure.
Right. And the only person with answers is gone.
Right, exactly. The case and the search is still ongoing, specifically in and around the Bear Creek Park area. Mm-hmm. The founder of Texas EquiSearch, his name is Tim Miller, and he said, quote, "Bear Creek Park, it's thick in some areas. There are little roads that go off, some little areas that would be simple to pull up in and dump something and get out without being seen. My fear is now, hopefully I'm wrong, but it is that this is one of them cases where she is never going to be found."
I hope not. And then, it could be just that he dumped her items there, and which would still make it hard because you don't know where she is.
Right.
If she's not where her items are.
That's what I've been thinking too.
Because if that's close, you said that's close to, you didn't say it. You said it was close to the club, but you didn't say
it was close to the club, but it was about 25, 30 minutes from her hotel. Not sure how far it is from his place.
Okay.
I honestly think he just picked a place that's super off road and isolated.
Right. And now knowing the whole story, it's possible that maybe she really was never at this club.
It is possible. I wish I had more details. About the club. I hope they eventually release more details about the footage, if she was there, if she wasn't. It is possible that she was there and they just don't remember. Or it's possible that she wasn't there and maybe didn't want her friends and family to know about
the extent of what
she was doing. Exactly.
Wow. So do you have a picture of the suspect?
Yes, we do have a picture of the suspect. We can definitely put it on our Instagram. And we also have, obviously, a picture of Felicia. Mm-hmm. Also, Felicia's father has created a GoFundMe page to help raise funds. This is to help him stay in Houston. And he's helping with the ongoing search of his daughter.
Okay.
He wrote on the GoFundMe page, "Our family is forced to be separated in this most trying time. I will stay in Texas as long as I can to ensure everything is being done to find Felicia. Our family is not complete without her. I have never felt such a sense of helplessness in my life.
Aww.
Felicia is a beautiful young lady, both inside and out. She turns 24 with so much more to learn and enjoy from this life. She aspires to succeed in the hair, makeup, and modeling industry."
Aww.
It's
Well,
very sad.
we'll definitely post his GoFundMe link in the show notes as well as on Instagram, along with the suspect's picture on Instagram, the number to contact if you have any information, if you've seen this guy. That'll be in the show notes and also Instagram. So you have the number for HPD. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easy to find.
I do have the number. Now make sure that we get that posted. I just want to say that Felicia was very young. She was so young. She had just turned 24 on April 10th, and she went missing on April 16th. I just want to give a little description. Felicia is a Black woman with black hair and brown eyes. She is 5'4" and 150 pounds. She also has a large butterfly and roses tattoo on her right shoulder. If you have any information about Felicia Johnson's disappearance or the whereabouts of the alleged killer, please call the Houston Police Department, 832-394-1840. We will include the number in the show notes and on our Instagram.
Right.
I also want to mention, we will probably have a few links, but I also wanted to include the link for our Texas EquiSearch. They are, like I said, they're a nonprofit. They are funded by donations. So I thought that we can include their website. I did a little bit of digging on them. According to the FBI's website, to date, they have located and brought home over 400 missing persons.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, the organization started when the founder's daughter went missing, and she was found to be murdered, but he has made this like his life purpose. They have, like I said, brought home over 400 missing persons, and they have recovered the remains of almost 300 missing individuals.
Wow.
So we'll include their information. Hopefully we can get some donations so that they can continue doing this amazing work.
Exactly. As well as Felicia's dad, because I know that, he's trying to get answers for his daughter. So he would need to be in Houston to be able to do that.
Yeah, to keep tabs on it. I mean, he's a long way from home, from California by himself, trying to get answers for his daughter. So we'll definitely make sure we have his GoFundMe page in the links as well.
Right.
So what are your final thoughts on the case?
I think it's heartbreaking that they had the suspect in custody.
Yes.
And they, I don't know how deep they interrogated him, but if they maybe would have pushed harder, they could have got more information. And this could have maybe been solved if there was a phone with pictures of deceased women on there, and they did dismembered women at that, and they didn't push to get answers to who these women were and why do you have a phone with this on there. Something in this investigation doesn't sit well with me, because somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
I agree. And it also makes me wonder about the suspect. Like, I'm kind of getting beginner serial killer vibes.
I'm getting he is a serial killer.
Well, I mean, he's very, to have to Google everything to figure out what to do.
True.
It seems like he's very new, but these 3 deceased individuals on his phone were those victims. Where did he find these people? And the dismembered woman, we don't know if that was a picture of Felicia. Remember, the police at this point, they believe that he did kill her, but it hasn't been proven 100% because she hasn't been found.
Right.
So, and then 2 weeks after Felicia goes missing, he's on the internet prowling again for another escort.
Right. And then the pictures on his phone could be pictures. I mean, I'm sure there would be a way to know if it was a screenshot or if it was he actually took the photos, because it's a possibility that it could have been pictures that were posted online that he got, because he fetish. Remember, we were saying the word, I couldn't pronounce it, but he fetishizes. Yeah, so he, maybe that's his fetish, and he was searching this, and which is sick, completely sick. But either way, we need to know who these women are that was on that phone, and why wasn't that further investigated as well?
Exactly. I did kind of see what I could find out about the pictures on the phone, but they just said that, the individuals in the pictures have not been identified, and no metadata about the pictures have been released to say if it was an actual photo, where it was taken, the time, screenshot, whatnot. So they're kind of keeping that close.
But yeah, when we have an investigation that's ongoing, everything isn't released. You won't know everything until, they're in court, and then you have court documents of exactly what happened, what they know.
My hope is that someone somewhere recognizes this man, calls the police, and that he can answer for what he's done.
Exactly. So if you do happen to go over to our Instagram and see the photo, feel free to share it, because, we need to get as many eyes on this guy as possible.
Absolutely.
And our Instagram is Coffee Break and Crime.
Well, that concludes our case of the week.
Right. Break time is over. And we hope that you join us next Wednesday for another coffee break. And as usual, we got a few responses last time about what you guys drink while you listen. So you can also post that on Instagram. DM us with any cases that you think may be beneficial for us to cover, and we will always keep that into consideration. It's actually how we have some of our cases on our lineup, is from people who requested those cases to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you guys. Talk to you next week. Same time, same place.
Thanks for joining us. Be safe. Make good decisions.
Bye. Bye.